Now, there are going to be days when you're not going to feel like moving your body. I can guarantee that. And it feels a bit stiff. The mind isn't quite in it. And this practice is just for one of those days, because we start off quite gently, introduce movement so that the body can get used to it, just to open up a bit, and the mind goes, okay, let's go for it. So let's get on with this practice. So we're going to start with just standing at the front of the mat and bringing the hands together in a prayer position. And we're going to do some half sun salutations. So standing nice and tall, first of all, really feel the weight coming down and feel through the soles of the feet, and some nice balance between the front and back. We're not leaning forward, we're not leaning back, and we're kind of centered in a way. And then hands in prayer position. And then just breathing in. Open the arms wide, up above the head, lifting up through the sternum and the chest. And then leading with the elbows, just release down. And notice my knees are bent, slightly bent. So it's just opening up at first. And then let the head loose, let the shoulders shrug a few times. And then bringing the backs of the hands together. And then coming all the way up on the inhale. And exhale back into prayer position. So breathing in, let's do that again. Open. And then exhale, just nice and gentle movement. Moving with the breath. Shrugging the shoulders, letting everything go. And then inhale, back to the chest. Let's do one more of those. So breathing in, open, lift. Absolutely gorgeous. Elbows release down. Fingertips down. And then this time around we're going to straighten the legs. So you can either have the fingertips on the ground or on the ankles or the shins, depending on how flexible you are today. And breathing in, lengthen the front of the body. And then just folding into the legs. So feeling that opening through the back of the hamstrings in particular, and then bending the knees and coming all the way up, backs of the hands together, palms into prayer position. So this time we're going to take the right leg back. So breathing in and open. Exhale, release down. Fingertips down, legs straight, looking forward. And then take a big step back with that right foot, as far back as it'll go. And then dropping that back knee. And you can probably feel a really nice opening here on the hip flexor, front of the quad. Just make sure that that knee, the left knee, is above the ankle. And then breathing in, open. And as you lift up, and as you inhale, and then exhale, release down through below the waist. So really, really nice opening. And look between the hands, palms facing towards each other. Don't really overstrain in the neck. So looking up with the eyeballs, and then release. And let's step back into downward facing dog. So we can just walking out the dog at first, really nice. Bending one knee, straightening the other, pressing the chest back towards the thighs. So you can be in this position for as long as you like. It's one of my favourite positions. It's eventually a resting pose. Eventually. And then release the knees down and sitting back onto the heels, as far back onto the heels as you possibly can. As long as the knees are okay, just make sure the knees are okay. And then lift up slightly, and then bringing the forehead either down onto the floor, or you could have the forehead onto the stacked fists and the stacked palms. So it's entirely up to you how you want to do this. And then breathing in and exhale
arching the back like an angry cat. Inhale, lifting the chest, lifting the sitting bones. Exhale, so just move through this cat-cow tilt a few times. Just feeling into the body. I quite like to close my eyes when I do this, just feeling into the body. Where does it need it? Where are you feeling it right now? And then coming into a neutral position. Again, in your practice, maybe you could just do that a little bit more, a few more times, depending on how you're feeling. It's a great little back flex and opener. And then just stepping forward with that right foot. So stepping forward with the right foot. And then from there, let's open up. And release. And you can tuck the toes under if you wanted to. Keeping the left fingertips down and open up to the right. So you're feeling this little twist in the spine as well. But do make sure that that front knee, the right knee, is coming over the ankle. And you can feel a really nice opening in the hip joint as well. And the back and the lower back. And release. And step forward. Coming into our forward bend, a ragdoll forward bend. The ragdoll is when the knees are slightly bent, and it's all about releasing the back, the neck and the shoulders. And then back to the hands together, coming all the way up, back into prayer position. So let's do that on the other side. So breathing in and open, lifting up through the chest. Exhale, leading with the elbows, coming all the way down. Straightening the legs, looking forward. And with straight legs, do make sure you're supported. So we're not hanging in mid-space. We're kind of fingertips on the ground or ankles or on the shins. Just whatever's comfortable for you. So it's your own body. Don't be trying to get into a weird and wonderful shape. So that will happen eventually with practice, guaranteed. And then fingertips on the floor. Stepping back with the left foot this time. Bending that knee, releasing down. And then, as before, we're going to open up. So this crescent moon, palms facing towards each other, looking between the palms, looking as much upwards and with the eyeballs. So give a bit of yoga for the eyeballs. So shoulders releasing down now, and pelvis releasing down, lifting up above the chest. There's all sorts of directions we're moving here. Really energizing chest opener. And release down. Stepping back into downward facing dog. And really, it's up to you what you want to do. You can walk out the dog a few times. That's nice. It's always good to stretch off, especially after if you've had an active day the day before and the legs are a bit stiff. It's always a good thing to do. But do look towards the knees. So the back of the neck is nice and long. And keep pressing the chest back to the thighs, because ultimately we're looking for an alignment between the arms and the torso. And once you got that alignment, then this becomes a resting pose. There's no effort involved, and you could stay still in this posture for a long time. And then release and exhale all the way back into child's pose. And when you're in child's pose, externally rotate the tops of the arms so we're opening up through the shoulders. And then inhale, coming up. And exhale as you arch the back like an angry cat. Inhale, lifting the chest, lifting the sitting bones. Exhale, so just move into this
a few times. Again, it's just exploring, just seeing how the back is feeling. And we're always bringing the awareness into the body and into the breath so we can get out of our heads. Just spend a bit of time in awareness. That's quite a nice place to be. And then coming into a neutral position. And this time we're going to step forward with that left foot. Right knee comes back, so we're in this lunge position again. And then we're going to come all the way up, open up through the body. Feel that really nice opening. It's in the front of that, the thigh into the quad, into the hip flexor, up into the chest, into the armpits, looking up between the hands, and release. Keeping the right fingertips down and open up to the left. So a twist in the left, and remember we're keeping that left knee above the left ankle, and you can feel that little bit of magic going on in the hips. And release. And let's step forward with the right foot, folding into the legs. And then the backs of the hands come together, knees are bent, and coming all the way into prayer position, just standing nice and tall. So really nice little sequence there, but kind of a sun salutation with a few postures blended into it. And then from there, what I quite like to do is bring the feet together. So bringing the feet and the knees together, and then arms out to the side and lifting up as high as we can. And you can either be in this position and you could interlink the fingers, the index fingers pointing upwards, or if that's too challenging, maybe you can just hold on to the elbows. And from there, we're going to just come into this swaying palm, just moving from side to side. And this is the kind of thing I quite like to do, a swaying palm after I've been for a run, actually. It just feels like lifting out of the hips, lengthening the spine. So this is quite a nice thing to do. And again, just go on either side for as many times as you like, really pressing those hips out, feeling this lateral movement in the spine and the hips. Absolutely gorgeous. And then lift and open the chest. So opening up through the chest. So it encourages a gentle back bend, but think of it more as a chest opener. And then folding down. So just going to place the hands on the hips and then just going to fold down about halfway. So just keeping some nice length in the spine. And in particular, again, if you want to do this practice after, or this particular forward bend after a run with the swaying palm, then I would go just this far down. I wouldn't go any further. I find that my blood pressure really lowers after I've been on a run, and so if I go too far down and then I come up, then I feel a bit lightheaded for quite a while. So yeah, just mind how you go with any of these things, and then bending the knees and coming all the way up. And the final part of this sequence is just introducing a revolved triangle posture. And this is really good for the backs of the legs and encouraging a twist in the spine. So in this particular version, just notice that my feet are in a 10 to 2 position. And so they're in the same direction as the knees. That's quite important. So breathing in, open up through the chest, lift, and then bringing that left hand down onto that right ankle or the right shin,
or the right foot, depending on how your flexibility is. Bending that knee and coming all the way up. And then do the opposite side. So it's a right hand onto the left side. So the left shin, left ankle, left foot. Bending that knee, coming up. And release to the other side. So let's do that a few times just to feel into the body, into the legs in particular. Absolutely gorgeous little stretch. Great thing to do first thing in the morning. I always incorporate this little move into my morning practice, waking up the spine as well, opening up through the chest, through the shoulders. And then exhale as you come down and inhale as you come up. And this time we're going to hold it for a few breaths. So left hand down to that right side. And if it's too much with that top arm and the top shoulder, then just simply place the back of the hand on the sacrum. So you're still getting a twist, you're still getting a really nice opening, and then bending the knees, coming all the way up. And let's come over to the other side. So either hold it there with the top arm up, or if it's too much, just rest in the back of the hand on the sacrum. So any of these postures, I would recommend holding for about 5 breaths, and they're not quick breaths, so they're long, smooth breaths. So you're looking at about 30 seconds, really, for any of these holds. And then release from there, coming all the way up. And then just bringing the feet together, just shaking off the legs. Now, a little final posture that I want to introduce you to, and this is really good for opening up the backs of the legs. And you can come into it 2 ways. You can either separate the feet nice and wide. This time the feet are going to be parallel, and you can either come down into this half squat, and you can feel this really nice opening there. Or if that's too much, then start on the knees and then just bring one foot out to the side, and you might need some padding underneath one of the knees to do that. So you're still getting an opening on that straight leg, and then you can make it a bit yogified by bringing the hands into prayer position if that's your cup of tea. So it's entirely up to you which version. So this requires a little bit more balance. And from my experience, as long as you've got nothing behind you to bang your head on, or a cat or other animals, then if you do lose your balance and you fall back, it actually doesn't hurt. So, and I've done this many times, fallen over many times, especially when I'm trying to demonstrate it into a class. But there you go. And then I'm going to come over onto the other side. So you can try the kneeling version if that's preferable. On one side, the balance will be a little bit different, maybe more challenging on one side than another, but see how you get on. So don't forget, if you wanted to come onto the knees with a bit of padding, then we're going to start in this kind of position. Okay. So breathe in a smile, and then from there, going to come out of it and just giving the legs a bit of a shake.
So there you go. Hope you enjoyed that practice, and do let me know if there's any particular thing you'd like to explore. What's your biggest challenge right now in terms of flexibility, mobility, and what's stopping you actually doing something about it? So I'd be really interested to hear.